Yo, what's up, everybody? It is your boy Slim, aka Mr. Different. Still sick as always, man. I thought I got over my cold, but I didn't. Then my little boy got sick as well, and it's just this house been sick, so that's why I've been uploading videos or doing the feedback Fridays and all that. So I do apologize if you guys are gonna be hearing me sniffling and goddamn coughing and swallowing spit and all in the microphone. Just deal with it. But I do want to say, first off, I will be doing the feedback on Fridays tomorrow. I'm gonna be picking up from last week and this week. So if you sent beats in last Friday and yesterday, I will be reviewing all your beats tomorrow, which will be Sunday the 29th. I'm just gonna be doing like a 4-hour stream, or try to anyway. Do a 4-hour stream and go through all the beats that people have been sending in, because I missed out yesterday and last week as well. So sorry for that. Just kind of bear with me, just kind of get it. Cause I said, you get sick, and I gotta do what I gotta do. But anyway, today's gonna be a Ableton live tutorial, because like I said, I was gonna be doing, I should have did this earlier, but like I said, I've been sick, so I ain't feel like doing it. So I made a little simple, I guess, future type Drake beat, just like the last video with the FL Studio video. This is the one I made in Ableton Live. So I'm gonna be breaking it down, show you guys how I make it. Remember, any technique I show you guys in this video, you can translate into any DAW. I'm just showing people who let's say people ask for the Ableton Live tutorials. Here they are, because I did say I was gonna do them. I do like Ableton Live. It's my DAW right now. I mean, I'm loving it. So I made a little simple beat real quick, and show you what I did to it. It's very simple, just like the last beat. Yeah, so it's not completely mixed, just not the finished product, but it is somewhat of what it's going to sound like when I'm done with it, and I will have the full beat uploaded in time. So let's just go ahead and break this beat down. We'll start off with the first sound, I like to do. My first sounds. I use Analog Lab. Like I tell you, Analog Lab is probably my favorite favorite plugin right now, VST, because of the sounds it has in its disposal. I found this little sequence called Coming Down. Very cool sequence. I didn't have to do nothing to it. It sounded really good. I'm gonna play it real quick for you so you can hear it. And that was like just one note. It's like just basically two notes being played throughout. As you can see, just the C3 and the F3 notes being played. And it just made that cool sound. Like I said, it had that kind of gross beat sound to it. Like it sounded like it was already gone through gross beats. So I used it because, like I say, Ableton Live doesn't have gross beats. I'm probably going to purchase gross beats for Ableton Live so I can use it, because I like using my gross beats. So, I mean, just show you guys right there, like it just had that feel to it. Like I said, it had that analog type of gross beat sound to it. So I went with it. Next up, I used another Analog Lab for my main lead, which is kind of like I don't know, call it really a main lead, but it was something like that. We'll just go ahead and make it a little smaller for you guys. The small as get. I'll play it real quick. The preset is called, let's go to it real quick. The preset is called, where the fuck that is. Pause your screen, copy it down if you got Analog Lab. And I know I said Analog Lab was cheap. It was 50% off. I think it went back to $80, but it was $40. But just keep checking, because they usually have, deals on it. But at the same time, I mean, it's worth it, because it has over, I think they said over 50,000 sounds, or yeah, over 5,000 sounds with it. So $80 for 5,000 sounds that are very retro sounding, analog, aggressive, and open sounding sounds is kind of a good deal. It's cheaper than Nexus and Omnisphere and all that. So, I mean, it's definitely worth it, definitely pick it up. I know a lot of you guys are cheap and broke, but, at the same time, it's worth it, if you can stop buying all them Jordans and shit, and taking your girl and go to the strip club and go in the club and all that, go buy you some VSTs, man. Get your shit, get your sounds right. Stop being lazy, shit. But anyway, this is the lead sound right here. Very simple lead, nothing special there. I add some EQ to it. I use the EQ8 from and Ableton, basically like the default EQ, just like FL Studio. I just cut off some of the highs. I did a high cut at about 400K or 4,000K, so it'd be 4,000 kilohertz, and that's about it. Just kind of cut something to tame it down, because it was a little bit too sharp. If I take it off, it was a little bit just too sharp. So I want to get rid of all that fuzziness that's like way up in the top end. So that's why I did that. The kind of, you know, just get rid of that. Next, I use another analog ladder. Analog ladder, you see this pattern is like my favorite VST. I just love it. It's so simple to use. It's gonna be my VST, my signature. I use what did I use right here for the background pad? This is basically a background pad sound. I used a sound called the Allen Synthi, whatever. It's a pad sound. Very cool sound. Like I said, it's a pad. It's a bright. It's like a kind of a tame pad sound, as you'll be able to hear right here. And I don't think I didn't know EQ, no nothing to it. Just kind of left it alone, default as usual. And you hear this. As you can hear, it just has that kind of, it has that old school kind of generic pad sound. Like that's the sound I wanted to go for. I wanted that old school generic pad sound. I didn't want no kind of new school. I wanted that cheesy kind of pad sound. I know it's kind of like, why would you do that? But when I say when the sounds come together, you can really hear how it builds and sounds. Like I said, if you hear individually, it doesn't sound like it would be a Future type beat or whatever. But once you hear the sounds put together, you kind of can get that kind of feeling of it. So I just kind of solo everything so you can hear it all at once. And if you want to solo multiple things, you just hold the control button and you click solo, and that will allow you to solo multiple things. See how it had that cheesy, it has that cheesy sound to it, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I went with that instead of doing something else. So yeah. That's why I did that. All right, so next up is I did the 808s next. Let me see, I'm doing it in order. The 808s, and I use this 808, I forget which pack it's out of. It's out of some pack. I think it's out of one of the Internet Money drum kits. I bought a bunch of them, and it's out of one of the Internet Money drum kits, but we'll play the sound real quick. We'll play the 808 for you because you can hear it. Well, this without the side chaining. But I have it side chained to my kick drum, and it's easy to side chain, and I love the way the side chain inside of Ableton Live is a whole lot easier than FL Studio. Basically, you just throw a compressor and you hit this little button right here. It brings up a side chain button, and you click that, and then you select what you want to side chain with, and it's side chain. Super quick, super easy, and you can side chain. You ain't even got to have the sound playing for it to side chain, so I can actually, the kick drum's muted, and it's still going to side chain regardless. Now it sounds like a tail. Now you just hear the tail sound. That's all I wanted. I just wanted a tail sound. This is a tuner just to figure out what key the actual kick drum was in. So I made sure I was in the right key. And then that's pretty much all I did there. No distortion, no nothing. I just put a little side chain to it just to give it some, to give it that tail sound. I just want a tail sound because the kick drum was going to give it that knock to it. So we'll get to the kick drum in a second. You'll be able to hear that. Next, I used a snare sound. Just a simple snare called a Hit Boy snare. Things from the Internet Money thing. I added some reverb to it because without the reverb, it sounded kind of dry and like some chicken with no dressing or whatever you fucking guys put on it. Them turkey, yeah, like turkey. Then you got your dressing, your gravy. It's just dry as hell. So it sounded good, but it just sounded dry sound. So when I add that reverb to it, it just gave it that life to it. It just gives it some space, and that's all I really wanted was some space. I also cut some of the lows and the highs of it. This EQ, this reverb is a little bit different than the Reverb 2 on FL Studio. But basically just cut some of the lows, cut some of the highs, and then bring the mix down because my mix is about 40% because I don't want too much reverb. And that's pretty much it right there. I just left everything else default. Just brought in the wet dry and just cut some lows and the highs. Next up is the hi-hat, which is, I did a little bit of extra processing to it. Simple hi-hat, as you can hear. Nothing special going on with it. Not trying to do no advanced stuff right now. Just doing some simple stuff for you guys and work my way up. So Just a little standard hi-hat with a little bit of, you know, triplet sounds in there now. Then I add an EQ to cut my lows because I always cut my lows in my hi-hats because hi-hats are basically predominantly high frequency instruments, so don't really need lows for it. So and then added just a little bit of reverb, touch of reverb just to give it some space. Left everything alone, just brought down the mix until it sounded right, you know. You ain't got no special formula for that. Just bring it down until it sounds correct. That's all I can say. Next up is my kick drum. Standard kick drum, a little hard hitting kick drum. But I didn't add an EQ in it, but there's an EQ right here built into this sampler or sampler, I forgot which one it is. And I cut it about 200K. So if you got an EQ, put an EQ on it and cut about 200K, that just gives it kind of it makes it a little bit more focused in. I'll turn the filter off so you can hear, and you hear the before and after. So you see how it kind of filters it out and just make it a little bit more focused. I always do that in my kick drums. I don't like a whole lot of top end unless I'm doing like EDM music, because EDM, you want that top end click sound with your kick drums. But for like trap and hip hop and R&B and all that bullshit, you really don't want all that top end click unless you're just going for some weird genre bending or whatever, do what you would do. But yeah, I just focused it in a little bit just to kind of, you know, make it a little bit more, I guess, filtery sounding, whatever you want to call it. And I added the capitator to it. I used the A setting on 2, and I brought the mix down to about, I guess it'd be 10, 20, 30, 40%. Well, and that's 50%, so 40, 30%. Yeah, so that'd be 30% mix, just so it's not too strong. Like I said, without the capitator, it's not really too noticeable, but it's there, so. Sometimes subtlety can go a long way. A lot of you guys like to do crazy distortion and crazy this and that, and it's too much. Sometimes just a little bit of it can make the beat sound a whole lot better, and it makes it easier to mix as well. So try to look out for that. So, you know, don't go too heavy with it. And last but not least, I added a little bit of cymbal, nothing special. Just a little cymbal sound. Oh, I gotta, yes. And it was simple. I just left it alone and didn't do nothing to it. Now, and that's pretty much all the sounds right there. And then I'll go ahead and I like to solo my percussion sounds, because when you hear the percussion sounds play, you get to feel that bounce. You get to hear that bounce. As far as the mix goes, the mix is pretty simple. I mean, nothing special there. I did pan my hi-hats to the right and my cymbals to the left, because that's what I always do. And then, like I said, always when I mix, I always try to aim for, I use a limiter. This is not the full master, but this is like a basic master. I try to aim for about, I'll turn my limiter off real quick so you can hear. I try to aim for about negative 12 dB as always, so. I always aim for negative 12 dB. If you don't have a K scale, like this has a K scale built into it, as you see, K14 scale, just aim for 12 dB. Aim for about negative 15, negative 12 dB, because that's around negative 14 in the K scale. And then once I add my limiter into it, the volume is going to boost to about negative 6 dB. As far as the sequence go, the sequencing, nothing special here. Like I said, this is more of a simple type beat. It's not, like I said, I'm starting to make a couple of simple beats before I get to the more advanced type stuff. So this is a simple beat. I mean, it's nothing special. It has the build up right here, as you can see, to about a couple seconds, and then it comes to the main hook. The hook, then, like I said, breaks down the verse. And I added, like, in one section, I kind of bring in everything, and I kind of bring it back out. And it's nothing special here. Like I said, basically what you want every 8 bars to be somewhat different. Like I said, that's how I do. These 2 8 bars are basically the same. Well, not every 8 bars, be 1, 2, it'll be 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, so every 4 to 8 bars. So either you do every 8 bars different or every 4 bars different. But you want to have some sort of change up throughout the beat, because if you don't, it does sound repetitive. So you either want to have like nothing going on here, maybe a little bit going here, then you bring in some stuff here and bring some stuff out, just to kind of give it some movement to it. Because you don't want your beat to be like, you know, straight static where it just sounds like, you know, this the whole way through. That's boring. I used to do that when I first started out, and a lot of you guys still do that, or a lot of you guys starting out doing that, and you don't need to do that. So just, you know, take it easy. Just kind of change it up subtly. You ain't gonna go extreme with it. I made a whole video about how to arrange. If you go to my YouTube, type out how to arrange your beats, and it talks, I'll break it down in full detail and give you crazy examples with it, and it just go in detail with it. It's really good, and a lot of people like the video, and, you know, check it out. It's like one of my most successful videos, and like on my YouTube channel, so check it out. But yeah, that's basically a simple future type beat inside of Ableton Live. Like I said, Ableton Live is no different from FL Studio. A lot of you guys are like, well, Ableton's too hard, or Ableton's different, or what. It's a DAW. It's no different FL Studio than Cubase, than Logic, than Cakewalk, then Reason, then Studio One, the Pro Tools, and it's just a DAW. It doesn't matter. You can take any of these techniques and translate them into any DAW and get the same results every single time. It doesn't matter what you do. So stop thinking you have to have FL Studio to make a banging beat. Stop thinking you need Ableton Live to make a hot beat. You know, stop thinking that bullshit, because you think that bullshit, you'll never amount to become anything in your career of being a beat maker, whatever, a mixer, engineer, a sound designer, whatever. You'll just be another average guy wasting his time and wasting his money. So stop thinking that, and just learn shit from everybody and become better. So yeah, that's just my little rant right there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, I'm not the best at doing this shit, you already know this, but at least I can help you guys out in the long run. But anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy. Like always, it's your boy Slim, aka MrDifferent. Tomorrow, Sunday, the 29th of January 2017, I will be doing Feedback Fridays. I'll be doing a full 4-hour stream and going over last week beats and yesterday beats all in one video. So hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna have the weed lab rolled, I'm gonna have the drink ready, and I'm gonna be ready to go for a long ass stream. So hope you guys enjoy that. So wait, always, please like, comment, subscribe. You know it is your boy Slim, aka MrDifferent. I'm gonna be about money, but like, comment, subscribe if you. Sorry I was sick in this video, but oh well. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy. Like always, go make some hits, and I will see you guys in the next video.